in the green though. Oh my, gee, wow! This just was pretty crazy here. Trying to get this thing going. I don't even know if the mic's working. All right, so I think, are we on the scene? And we're in the green. Can you believe that? So I have, I've been messing with this new internet, trying to get it going. Tonight, everything is good from the satellite to the modem to my computer. That's all good. And then, so the tech guy called me tonight, and we were doing speed test. And when I did speed test on any Google server, it was only at 4 MBSs or whatever it is. Now, if I ran it somewhere other than Google, we are at like 80 and 90 MPSs. So it's Google. It's not even the satellite company that is slowing me down. It's Google. Over the last week, they've took away like 700 listeners in one night. And then I'm getting email after email how everybody is getting unsubscribed, and then I'm not coming up in the feeds. They have to come searching. So it's just ridiculous. So we'll just drop another bombshell on Google tonight in the New World Order. So here's the National Geographic coming out with a glacier like sits at the base of a glacier. It's a critical source of fresh water and drinking water. But here's what they're saying. Melting glaciers contribute to a third of the sea level rise. Thousands of glaciers dot the planet high mountain regions. Now scientists know how fast they are melting, how much they are filling the ocean. Oh, really? Like an ice cube. A cube on a hot summer day, many of Earth's glaciers are shrinking. Have you ever took a cup of ice and let the ice melt? Did your cup overflow? No, it never overflowed. It's because the Earth, no matter if the water is melted or if it's frozen, it's still the same amount. But over on Facebook today, Higgins Storm Chasers, he put a couple pictures up of this Fort Denison. Now, if you don't know about Fort Denison, this is one of the most accurate sea level gauges, tide level gauges, and they've been keeping track for years on the sea level for decades. And I'm going to blow a hole, well, they're going to blow a hole right into this. And then we got a bunch of other news to get into. So here, let me play a clip. Hopefully it'll play. And hopefully I hit the right scene, because I can't remember where I put it. I'll try it. Nope, that's not it.
To start the new month, claims tonight international vapour trails laid by international organisations could be filling central west skies with dangerous chemicals. Opponents of these mysterious chemtrails, which have been appearing at
residents in southern Tasmania are demanding to know why cloud seeding was conducted over the Derwent River catchment the day before the worst floods in 40 years. Cloud seeding is a technique used to increase.
The record number of fires burning across Brazil's Amazon rainforest has prompted renewed global outcry over climate change.
Where'd it go?
And big spending. The record number of fires burning across Brazil's Amazon rainforest has prompted renewed global outcry over climate change.
Right there.
And big spending. $5 million from Leonardo DiCaprio,
£10
£10 million from the UK. Meanwhile, Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth.
What in the heck
It's called solar geoengineering, and it's highly controversial.
Residents in southern Tasmania are demanding to know why cloud seeding was conducted over the Derwent River catchment the day before the worst floods in 40 years. Cloud seeding is a technique used to increase rain. Hydro Tasmania has confirmed it flew.
Oh man, it's still
we've had a lot of cases where we were seeding storms that had no business being seeded. We were just kind of throwing darts. and we were seeing responses in some of those. So we are learning that maybe there's more opportunity with some of these. Maybe we don't even need to have a rain cloud. We could go where cumulonimbus clouds are.
If I punch you in the face. All right, I'm just going to bring this video right here on this scene because apparently they're hacked into this somehow or a way or another. Now let me see if I can even add the video in here. Like I had this all set up and now it's not set up and all my scenes are in the wrong spots. But at least we're in the green tonight. Hey, we're streaming in the green, but the broadcaster won't work. Holy crap. Here, I'll just I'll find it on my desktop if they're not going to let me do it that way. There it is. Hold on here. Let me see if I can bring this. Yeah, I can't even add a source now. This is ridiculous. And we're actually in the green streaming. So let me see if I can scroll down. And wow, I got all these new scenes. Wow, where'd all these scenes come from? All right, let me see. That's not it. Is it this one? I wonder if I can just create a new scene. We may go black for a second here. Let me try this. All right, let me see if I can add the source now. All right, I might be able to get this in here. Give me 1 second because this video is going to blow your mind. I put it on the desktop. This really sucks because this video would be a bombshell video if we wasn't having all these problems. So here we go.
Can we start with just explaining to viewers Daniel Fitzhenry, thank you so much indeed for joining me. Can we start with just explaining to viewers what is your expertise in measuring things like sea levels?
Well, we're hydrographic surveyors and they make the charts that ships navigate by, and the reason for having charts is so that ships don't get bent.
And when it comes to Fort Denison, why is that a good measure of sea levels around Sydney?
Well, to the east of Australia, all the way across to the United States and South America, is the largest body of water on Earth. And the Fort Denison station has been and remains one of the most reliable tide gauging stations and sea level gauging stations in the world.
And the Bureau of Meteorology has been checking records there for more than a century, and there have been other records going back further again. Can you tell us what the records show?
Well, the Bureau of Meteorology started mean sea level records in 1914. They show the highest levels of the tides, the lowest levels of the tides, but mean sea level is the one that we need. Say we wanted to calculate the volume in the oceans, or if we want to calculate if sea level is rising or falling.
But when you look at the data that when you look at the data, you see 1914, then it's pretty high, then it stays high for, what, a couple of decades, a decade and a half. Then there's low levels for 3 decades, then higher again at the end of the century. But since then, the last couple of years, it's trended down. It's actually lower now, according to your data, than it was in 1914. What does that tell you?
Well, right now, the sea level at Sydney is about 6 centimetres lower than it was in 1914. Now, sea levels are affected by, on a day-to-day basis, by the moon rotating around the Earth. And in the long term, the small pluses and minuses in mean sea level is affected by the planets moving round the sun in elliptical orbits, and sometimes they're closer to the Earth than they are at other times. So mean sea level varies up and down in the range of 20 centimetres.
So from what you've seen, I mean, look, if I had to draw a straight line from 1914, which was maybe an anomalous period just then of highs, I don't know. If you drew a straight line over the late 20th century to now, you probably get a small uptick in sea levels around Sydney. But like I say, the last couple of years, as you say, too, those sea levels have since dropped. Is there an overall trend that you can point to, or do you think, well, look, there is no trend, it goes up, it goes down?
Well, taking your example, if we drew a straight line from the 1914 level to the current level, and we projected that, extrapolated that, which is what a lot of people, ill-informed people have done, then we would have a downward trend. And if we extended that straight line for 100 years, it would be a drop in sea levels in the range of 30 centimetres. If we took a recent high point in mean sea levels and we connected that line to the current mean sea level and projected it, we'd have an extreme downward trend in sea levels. But if you look at the Bureau's levels, recorded levels over this 100-year period, they rise and fall in the range of 15 centimetres.
Well, is there something different going on in, our east coast? I mean, maybe tectonic plate movement, maybe the land is rising because we are told that we are getting sea level rises through satellite measurements, or is the on the ground measurement the one we really should be paying attention to, and it's not showing the sea level rises that we've been told to expect?
Well, I'm sure that the Fort Denison recorded data by the Bureau of Meteorology is more valuable and more accurate than satellite data on sea levels.
Well, that might explain why Venice is still not underwater too. I don't know. David Henry, this is a real mystery, but as you say, the hard evidence is right in front of us. Maybe the people like Tony Abbott who are wandering out to the beach saying this actually hasn't changed may be right, and the CSIRO, which is predicting nearly a metre of sea level rises by the end of the century, maybe, just maybe, they've got a reason to worry. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
My pleasure.
So there you go, guys. The sea has actually went down like 30 centimeters. So where's all the melting ice? Where's all the sea level rise that they're talking about? And now I'm trying to get back on my normal scene. And I don't know if it's going to do it again. We'll see. So anyway, so right there you go. If I can get us back on the main scene. And I'm trying. It's so weird, man. How's this thing work perfectly fine until I go live, and then it just goes all crazy. Like it won't even let me click the scene. So hopefully it will catch up to us. This is so weird, man. I've never had this much problem till here just recently. Computer's fresh, got plenty of memory, computer runs fine, but the broadcaster just keeps freezing up. There we go, we're back. All right, so the lie about the rising sea levels, and we talked about this before, how people with docks and stuff say, there's no change. You got Venice, and then, well, here's the most accurate measuring tool on the planet. And it's actually, the water has gone down over the past bunch of decades. I did have a thumbnail, but I can't seem to find it. But it was in that video, and I'm not going to go back to it, so we'll get rid of it. The links are in the description to share that out. Now, if you didn't know, the Gulf residents deserve the full truth about the oil cleanup of chemicals. You know how I might skip this one right now. Well, that's all right. Let's just go for it. Look, there's a plane with sprayers. I got another video that we're going to go over. In fact, let's do this one. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to have the closed captioning going, and I'll just kind of read it. The record number of fires. You know, now they're blaming the fires that are every year going on in the rainforests, and they're burned on purpose. But they're saying that's the cause of the climate change. And now Bill Gates is wanting to kill us all by the geoengineering they say they're not doing now, but they are. And what they're saying is that once they start, they can never stop. And that's what they're doing now. They've been doing it for decades. You know, they try to say, let me pause this here. So they say they don't have the nozzles built onto the planes, but yet we have tons of planes with spray nozzles on them. I got videos of the U.S. military talking about how they can spray heavy amounts over short areas or large amounts. You know, I got all that. So it's just a big lie, man. So they want to use nozzles to inject millions of tons of light reflecting particles into the stratosphere. It would create a thin chemical cloud of particles around the whole planet, blocking the sun to mimic a volcano, which we've already had so many volcanoes. Here's the thing. Let's say they actually start doing this in public, even though we already know they're doing it. But let's say after they geoengineer the skies, what happens if we have a big eruption? It'll send us directly into the ice age to go along with the solar minimum. See, that's what they're trying to do. That's why if they're saying it's getting hot, that means they're fixing to make it cold. It's always the exact opposite. So if we let them get away with, you know, what they're already doing, but doing it worse out in the public, what's going to happen when a volcano? We've seen some of the biggest eruptions this year. 65,000 feet, 70,000 feet, tons of 50,000 foot blasts. So they want to mimic one of these and reflect our sunlight back to space. You know, and that's the crazy thing. They think they can control nature, but you can't control it. So that's why I'm always saying, man, it's going to be cold. They're going to make it cold. Well, if we don't stop this stuff from happening, we'll never have blue skies again. Because once they start admitting to what they're already doing, it's going to get worse. Like, they can't even deny it now. And, you know, what they do talk about here is how this will affect other countries, and that's what's going to start the war. The weather will start the war because you'll be droughting out other countries when you're still in rain from one part of the troposphere. The other part of the world will not be getting moisture. That's what's going to cause the next great war, is the weather. So this blue sky that we get maybe once a month, it will never come back. It will be white. And they even stated they want to turn the blue skies white. So right here he's talking about if you stop, after you start, you can't stop. Because if you do, a rapid warming at a rate much faster than if we wouldn't have done it. I mean, these people are just nuts, man. But they see, here's the thing. They've been doing it since like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. You can go all the way back to the 1800s. They were shooting, you know, black powder up into the sky trying to affect the weather. 1903, they were already doing electric rainmaking. So these guys are just madmen. This is all part of the New World Order. They want to take away our blue sky. And the question is, are you going to let them? Are you going to let them continue to poison us? Because that's what they're doing. That's where the Morgellons comes in. These guys, and there they are, the Keith group. These guys should all be locked up in Guantanamo Bay. Bill Gates, all of them. The Soros, they all need to be locked up. So, yeah, so they'll say it's all on the money. You know, just like Al Gore got rich on the fake, you know, warming and stuff and all that. But anyway, all these links are in the description if you want to watch the whole video on that. And, you know, just to go back in history, back in 1950, the U.S. released a bioweapon in San Francisco. I reported on this before. This is coming out of Smithsonian News here in 1950. This was one of hundreds of bioweapons simulations carried out in the 1950s and 60s. The bacterium lives in soil and water and best known for its ability to produce bright red pigment. The flashy trait makes this particular microbe useful in experiments because it's so bright. It's easy to see where it is, and in 1950 the U.S. military harnessed that power in a large-scale biowarfare test in California. Beginning on September 26, 1950, the crew of a U.S. Navy minesweeper ship spent 6 days spraying the Cerretia, or however you pronounce it, into the air about 2 miles off the northern California coast. The project was called Operation Sea Spray, and its aim was to determine the susceptibility of a big city like San Francisco to a bioweapon attack by terrorists. In the following days, the military took samples at 43 sites to track the bacteria's spread and found that it had quickly infested not only the city but surrounding suburbs as well. During the test, residents of these areas would have inhaled millions of bacterial spores. Clearly, the test showed San Francisco and cities with similar size topography could face germ warfare threats. In this regard, the experiment was a success. But also, they did the radiation test over the people in St. Louis. They were spraying down in Texas too. I can't remember the operation, but they were spraying radioactive materials out of station wagons, out the corners of buildings, out of planes, on the people. And then they just watched them slowly die. And then we're supposed to trust these governments. You don't think they're doing a test on us right now? They're doing all kinds of tests. They're going to roll the 5G out regardless of the health hazards. Now we've had, you know, I've been reporting a lot on these paratroopers. You know, a couple of them almost got hit up in Great Britain by some F-35s or F-10s or whatever they were. And then we had the lady that died in California. Now we have mass injuries after a botched Army paratrooper night jump involving hundreds of parachuters. So this was a large military parachute training exercise went horribly wrong at an Army base in Mississippi late Wednesday night. Nearly 24 soldiers suffering injuries as a major emergency response situation unfolded. There were about 89 soldiers were aboard the C-130 for a night jump at Camp Shelby, but upon exiting the airplane, high winds blew the paratroopers far away from their intended drop zone into a forested area. 22 soldiers were injured in the jump, 7 hospitalized with more serious injuries, though none were reported as life-threatening. Pretty crazy stuff, man. What's going on with all these paratroopers? Now this is coming out of the Telegraph. Mobile phones responsible for disappearance of honeybees. The growing use of mobile telephones is behind the disappearance of honeybees and the collapse of their hives, scientists have claimed. The disappearance has caused alarm throughout Europe, North America, where campaigners have blamed agriculture, pesticides, climate change, and the advent of genetically modified crops for what is now known as colony collapse disorder. Britain has seen a 15% decline in its bee population in the last 2 years, and shrinking numbers have led to a rise of thefts. They're still in the highs. Now, researchers claim they have found the cause, which could be the first step in reversing the decline. They have established that radiation from mobile telephones is a key factor, and say that probably interfering with the bees' navigation systems. How about the radiation? How about the microwave radiation? If it kills the bees, it kills us. No bees, no people. Maybe that's why they're trying to push the Franken food, the fake meat, the fake everything, because they know they're killing the bees off. If it's killing the bees, it'll eventually kill us. So can't let these people keep on going, man. It's Satan, man. It's the dark side. Climate change is the worst scientific scandal in our generation. Boy, I agree with that. And they're going to keep pushing it, man. They're going to keep pushing it. They're going to keep hiding videos like this because they don't want this information out. Now, here was an article I didn't really get to look at, but we'll just check it out here. Did a 1964 earthquake bring a dangerous fungus to the Pacific Northwest? A new study posits that tsunamis triggered by the Great Alaska Earthquake washed Cryptococcus gatti onto the shore. I don't know how to pronounce all this stuff. So on March 27, 1964, Alaska's Prince William Sound region was hit by a 9.2 magnitude earthquake, the strongest ever recorded in North America. Around 139 people died, largely due to the series of tsunamis that swelled along the continent's west coast in the wake of the seismic event. Now, a study published that the Great Alaska Earthquake also unleashed a deadly fungus along the Pacific Northwest coast, with lasting implications for both humans and natural environment. Wonder if it's really Fukushima and they're just trying to blame it on this. You know, we don't know. We can't trust anything that comes out of the mainstream. You know, all the hidden technology and all the hidden history at the Smithsonian. They know a lot more. They know about the giants. They know about the dark side. That's who they worship. All right, let me get out of that. And I'll probably get a copy on that thing for damn sure I couldn't stop it. So we reported on this guy yesterday from the AccuWeather that drowned. Now this is getting crazy. So this happened on October 3rd, 2019. The same place, the same company lost another guy on July 23rd. A tragic loss for the worldwide weather community. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Mr. Zhang, distinguished professor of meteorology in the Department of Meteorology and Atmospheric Science at the Pennsylvania State University, died July 19th, not long after being diagnosed with cancer, according to the obituary. Now, he was recognized because he revolutionized the analysis and prediction of severe weather and hurricanes through advanced data assimilation methodologies that have been widely adopted by forecasting agencies. Now, the other guy that died was kind of like this guy. But what I'm wondering, now that we have two, you know, this guy just drowns, same company, was they going to expose what's going on with the radars or something? I don't know. I mean, if they keep popping off, getting wiped out, then we'll know. So crazy stuff, man. Too bad for the families of them people. And yeah, pretty crazy stuff. So we followed this hurricane Lorenzo, man. We watched how they cloud seeded out ahead of it. Look, it hit the exact target. Yesterday was the 3 zones. They were spraying. This was the center point. Look, it hit right in the center, and they're still spraying this side. So they're wanting to go straight over the UK. Then they're going to bring it down through the Netherlands, Belgium. They're still seeding the storm. Still hitting it with microwaves. Let me back this out a little bit. You still have spraying operations down in Spain. Let me get it on a good layer to look at this. Looks like the stream is running much better tonight. So hopefully they got us fixed up a little bit. Maybe they're bypassing Google, because Google's the one that is trying to take us out. Look at the spraying operation out here in the Mediterranean Sea. Look at that. That's on purpose. That's not water vapor. That is a heavy-duty aerosol application. Got the Freemason. Always get that in there. Got to have that in there. Let's click the layer here. Now they have some kind of weather device out here in Barcelona, man, because I always see stuff popping off right there. And they also got one down in here. So we have a spraying operation still over Portugal. And then South Portugal, big spraying operation. We go down here to our blast zone. You know, we had the fake 9.0 earthquake anomaly out here. Then we have a blast zone. Let me back this up to yesterday, just so everybody can see it. Man, it's nice having the internet running better. Look at that. It pops right up. Let's find the best layer to look at this. So look at this blast zone from this dust. Now I can take you to hundreds of dust storms. They usually are just streamers. Now that fake earthquake was right around here, about the same height and elevation. A month earlier there was a fake 9.0 earthquake down here in the Gulf. But look at the signatures on this thing. These are all microwave. This is a blast wave. There was an explosion of some kind over here that created this dust storm. Go on up to today. Look, this still has the signatures. And then you got cloud seeding operations down here in with it. Look at these guys. So what are they sending in this dust? Now where's all this dust coming? It's coming towards us. Let me put this on let's find the Sahara dust layer. Let's see if it shows up today. Yesterday it didn't show the blast of the dust. It just showed a blob of dust. Man, it's nice. The internet is hauling butt. We're in the green. Now we can get some business done. Now they'll probably, you know, take my channel down or something, because now we got internet connection. Now we can do some damage. So here we are. Let me put it on fast. Look how fast that loaded, man. Normally we got to wait on this thing forever. So it's not even really, there's not even showing the blast wave. But what we are seeing is all this dust is coming right to the United States. What did they put in it? Is there some kind of isotopes in that blast wave? So I don't know. Time will tell. I didn't really there we go. Just kind of take a quick look out here, see if we see any kind of bunker fuel operations. No, but we do have a spraying operation here in the Gulf of Alaska, going up into Alaska and all over Alaska. Alaska's getting waxed right now with the aerosols. So is the Yukon. Back this out. Spraying operation in North Nevada, Idaho. They're setting up for the storm. The Idaho Power Company is up here shooting silver iodide off the mountaintops. Let's go check them out here. Idaho Power. The Idaho Power Company. You want to know who's making it snow more? I'm going to show you. Here we are at the Idaho Power Company. Oh, Idaho Power is harvesting the storm. Idaho Power uses injections of silver iodide from the ground-based towers and flares on modified aircraft to coax winter storm to produce more snow. I thought they didn't do this. I thought it was a conspiracy. No, it's real. It's going on every day. Your weather is not natural. It'll never be natural as long as all these psychopaths are running the world. We have spraying operations up here in the Saskatchewan. I can't talk very good tonight, or whenever I get tired, I can't talk very good. I can't talk very good anyway. So we're just kind of buzzing through here, seeding kind of blatant cloud seeding operations. Nothing super big today. We do have some going on in the Gulf of Mexico though, but it's down here a little ways. Got to hit the right layer. I just noticed a few of them earlier when I was glancing through here. Got to find the layer. You know, they get pretty sneaky when they're doing this stuff. I know I'm zooming in and out a lot. I'm just trying to find the blatant ones so it's easy to look for and show. Alright, I'm going to back this out. We've been having a bunch of bunker fuel being deployed over here off the coast of Chile. Let's go zoom in. What are they doing? Are they doing something today? You know, usually when you don't see the bunker fuel, then you see the chemtrail planes. So they're definitely dropping some aerosols. That's not just wind coming off the mountains. Then you're also pulling the atmospheric river up into Rio. They've been pulling this atmospheric river up for weeks. When you got a few aerosols in the southern part of the storm. We've already looked at all the aerosols down here in South Africa. They were spraying like crazy down here yesterday. Now it's turning into some kind of system. Nothing over here. You know, they've only been sprayed twice this year. They get it easy over there. Wow, look at the spraying operation up here in Moscow. Look at this toxic soup up here. X's all over the sky. So Moscow is getting waxed. This is bombarded right here. You can't get much heavier aerosols than this. Let me click the layer, see if we can pull it out even better. Man, they're getting hammered. So this operation started for several hours. That almost looks like a smoke curtain being dropped right there. So there's a massive deployment of aerosols in Russia right now. I mean, just big time. Look, they are flying like 6-7 planes side by side. So mega spraying operation over Russia right now, just huge. That's like, you know, that is a huge area. Covering Ukraine too, North Ukraine, Belarus. So insane spraying operation over Russia. Or is that where I'm at? Or am I even in Russia? There's Russia. I don't know what this is. Well, whatever it is, they're getting waxed. And then, oh, so here's more Russia. I mean, I don't know if that's part of Ukraine. Yeah, that's Moscow. Well, they're getting hit. They're getting hammered. And then down here in the southern part, you got a few fires. But you also have aerosols, accelerants being deployed. And we watched them spray the Sea of Japan, and they steered the typhoon right over here. Look, they're still spraying it. This will be headed towards our west coast here in a couple days, like a week. This system will hit Washington, Oregon, and bring you some rain. Man, I'm not used to this map loading so fast. It's moving around like crazy. Wow, look at the spraying operation over New Zealand. Nobody's getting a break. Almost every continent is getting hit with aerosols. So this is a pretty mass spraying operation for their country. It's getting hit. I mean, they dropped some big, thick liners out here. And now it's just spreading out. And also see the frequencies. It's always right here off of Christchurch. They must have some kind of power Nexrad right there. You also have the Miles Research Company just across the pond over here doing what he does. We had aerosols over here for like a week straight. And now, what do we got? We got black chemtrails. Is that a black chemtrail? Or is that the shadow? Well, we definitely have some thick liners, little short segmented sprays. So you got 3, 4 liners right there. So they're still spraying out here off the coast of Perth. You know, they're roasting them down here in Australia. They're trying to roast them out. How do you make it hot? You put a cloud cover over. You put a cover on. That's what they're doing. They're creating clouds, trapping the heat in, creating the humidity, and then boiling everybody. We got some kind of electromagnetics going on down here too. Look at the clouds. They're not normal. Let's go back out here. All right, I think we got everybody covered pretty good. Let's look at Guam. Ooh, you got another little man-made system. Remember they were spraying yesterday and the day before just south of Guam. Now look, it's turning into something. Let's go ahead and check the earth null real quick. Better see what kind of wave weapons they have going on. First thing we'll check is the winds. Let's check the polar vortex winds. They're still here. You know, it's going to get bad when these polar vortex winds that are over the Antarctic come up here to the Arctic, because then they got the super cold to work with. Look, it's already starting to form. In a few more, maybe a week, this whole thing down here is going to be up there. We'll see if they're still doing the rapid heating event. And they are. See, they're still heating the Antarctic. So they've been trying to melt the Antarctic for weeks now. You got another little heat anomaly over South America. Let me just go back, man. We'll just kind of load this back so you can see the extreme heating event that's going over the Antarctic. Now, I thought this could have been from the solar wind and stuff, but it hasn't changed it. It's just been going on and on and on. This is a ionospheric heater or some kind of compression event. I mean, this thing don't even make sense. Now, we've seen what they did last winter. Look at this. I mean, this is crazy. Look at the temperature here. 41 degrees up in the stratosphere, the troposphere, even above that. We're looking at 41 degrees over Antarctica. That's not even right. What is it up here? Minus 66.3. Can't make them numbers up. And here we are now. So what's our temperature down in the Antarctic? Minus 17.6. And up in the north, we're minus 78. We're way colder, and we're not even in winter yet. All right, let's check the wave heights, see what kind of waves are over here hitting Ireland. I mean, we were getting 50-foot waves yesterday. Right now, we're getting 32-foot waves. Let's back it up a day. 36 foot. Let's go back another day. Wonder where all the 53.8. Oh, I know I had to go 3 hours at a time. So this is like a wave weapon. Look at that, 55-foot waves. Some people were reporting 100-foot waves over the Azores. I think we had like 60 something on here. So luckily that thing died down right before it hit. Here, let me back it up. We'll see what it was at when it hit. Like the initial line. So we're looking at 31, 34 foot waves. Still pretty good waves. but not like 50 footers, 40, 50 footers. And you're talking second story balconies getting ripped off of the hotels and stuff like that. Let's check out the sea surface temperatures. You know, they say the ocean is heating. I mean, we do got a little heat anomaly over here, but we always have some kind of heat anomaly. Let's check it last year. We'll see what it looked like last year at this time, just to compare. A little bit hotter. How about in 2016 when we had the last El Nino? Or maybe it's 2016. Yeah, let's try that one. So, you know, that's pretty good hot area back in 2016. Now it's just kind of more over farther, but then right here you have a big cooling. It's been hot, you know, all summer here in the Gulf of Mexico. The currents are kind of messed up. Let's see if I can put the currents on here. Look, the currents are trapped in here. Ever since they created the hurricanes, man, the currents won't like circulate around here. It's just trapped, stagnating the water. It's actually come back apart though, so this is a good sign. It's starting to come up and around, because before it was just doing a little half loop and then going right on up. Let's go ahead and check the sea surface temperature anomalies. And here's our blob. They're calling this the blob. They called it the blob back in 2015. And now we got it again, which will cause, you know, hot weather for Southern California. We got another heat anomaly there off the Galapagos Islands, up off the East Coast. Let me make sure I'm on the right date. I know I was clicking back. Yeah, that's now. Okay. Let's go ahead and check the carbon monoxide. Wow, we got a lot of fires going on up here. Them storms. You know, with all the snow they had up here, how could they be having all these fires? Or is this Yellowstone or some kind of volcanic fires? You know, what is this fire right here? Let me see where that is. Let me see if I can take these coordinates and see where that is. Copy. Let's try to find out where that is. See if that's Yellowstone or somewhere. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a long winter too. You know, the West Coast, they're probably not going to, the southern part of the West Coast just going to stay hot and dry. It's going to be fire season for them, while everybody else is freezing. So where are we at? We're in Colorado. So we're Mears Junction, Colorado. All right, so we got some kind of fire or something going on in Colorado, and then we got a bunch of fires up here in Washington, Oregon. You know, did some lightning strike up some storms? I don't see how though. I thought they were under feet of snow. All right, so we got that documented pretty good. Let's check the CO2, the good stuff, the plant food. But this is what they want to stop. They want to stop the plant food. So it's actually looking better now than it was earlier this year. You know, to me it seems like the earth will heal itself if we leave it alone. But I wanted to go back to that for a minute. If we go back to right around, I think it's around June. Let me click apply. Look at that. Look how light it was. I mean, that's some super high levels. It actually got worse than that. But now we're starting to, it looks like they're getting rid of the CO2. The carbon dioxide anyway. Let's go ahead and check the PM, the dust. So here comes our dust coming in from the Saharas. We know they hit it with a blast wave. Let's see if it shows up on here. This thing's usually pretty damn accurate. Man, this is nice having the stream running good. We're actually being able to fly through this pretty quick. All right, so that's right where that blast wave hit, right there. So it's just gotta see if it does show kind of a bow out. And look at that, all of a sudden it just pops up, a big blob. Like a mushroom cloud. Anyway, that stuff is headed our way. And let's check the particulate matter, the carcinogens. So it's full of carcinogens. Let's check the PM10s, 10 microns. So nasty, horrible, toxic stuff headed our way. Go to the 2.5s. The smaller the particulate, the worse. So luckily, look at that, how that stream right where that thing blew off. So the air quality is pretty bad in southern United States, and then up here where all these fires or whatever's going on up here, we got some mega particulates up here. These are carcinogens. They go right into the bloodstream, right into the blood-brain barrier. I mean, just Wikipedia particulate 2.5. Bad stuff. Let's go check some weather radars. So man, we've been pretty much in the green tonight, so that's awesome. So we finally got a show without buffering too bad. Just at the beginning there, maybe they fixed our stuff. All right, so we'll let this load. All you have to do is go look at the data from each state to state, and it is accurate. It's pretty damn accurate. More accurate than anything else we have, so that's what we got to use. You got any better ideas there, buddy? Got to use the tools we have. That's all we got. All right, so nothing major going on right now. Just, you know, normal crap, normal man-made stuff. All right. Anyway, so, you know, they're already geoengineering the sky. They're already hitting us with microwave radiation. You know, they terraformed our planet. So now, you know, while they're parading out these young kids out here to push their agenda, the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you just going to sit on your couch, or are you going to be an activist, or are you going to start making noise about this? That's the thing. So yeah, we can definitely see the aerosols being deployed over South Carolina, West Virginia. Yeah, definitely. They're definitely a psyop. So right in the fire zones is where the aerosols are being deployed, just like clockwork. We got aerosols down there over the Bajas again. So let's go ahead and just go take a quick look at the radars. I guess I could have looked on them right there. Really, I'm not buffering at all right now. We've been in the green the whole time. I know, people, it's hard, man. Like, just think, though, you got to keep on trying to get people to look at this stuff, because it takes something to get them to say, like, look up at the sky and be like, what the hell's going on? What are them planes doing? How come we don't have a blue sky? It's supposed to be a sunny day today. but then all of a sudden you get a whiteout. That's the hard part, because people are always busy, they're always distracted, but you got to keep pushing. Otherwise, they're going to get their way. They may get their way anyway, but you can't go down not at least trying. So it looks like all the next rads are on high mode. You know, they want to call these bugs and birds and bees and all that crap. You know, down in Australia, their mainstream media has talked about the trails. And we got a couple little clips now that we're running good here. I'll play the clip. I kind of played them in the beginning, but we'll try it again here. Here's a couple clips from the Australian mainstream media talking about the chemtrails, talking about what they're doing.
Residents in southern Tasmania are demanding to know why cloud seeding was conducted over the Derwent River catchment the day before the worst floods in 40 years. Cloud seeding is a technique used to increase rain. Hydro Tasmania has confirmed it flew a cloud seeding flight despite the weather warnings. Farmers believe the technique could have made the flooding worse. The Premier says a formal inquiry...
Yeah, it could have. Yeah, it did. Just like it does here.
To start the new month, claims tonight international vapour trails laid by international organisations could be filling central west skies with dangerous chemicals. Opponents of these mysterious chemtrails, which have been appearing over Dubbo and other central west centres, argue science is being perverted to change local weather patterns and keep Australia in drought.
These weirdly shaped vapour trails above Dubbo make curious patterns, but concerns tonight it could signal a systematic poisoning of the skies above Western New South Wales. Jet planes often leave contrails, but these vapour trails aren't on any recognised flight paths, and they run closely parallel and cross over in gigantic X shapes, forming giant grid patterns across the sky. And it's not just Dubbo, these are happening worldwide. There's a growing belief that chemtrails, as they're known, are part of a secret international strategy to inject fine particles into the upper atmosphere to reflect sunlight back into space and prevent global warming.
This is a disgrace that our government is allowing the US to spray barium, aluminium and all sorts of toxic aerosol chemicals under the banner of repelling sunlight.
Critics equate the program to the 1950s radioactivity experiments using human guinea pigs. They're also dismissing reports of a seasonal link between a spike in the number of the sky trails and the end of the first quarter of the year.
The public deserve to know that these contrails have health implications, right? Let alone their disorganised weather patterns leading to less rainfall, much like bare paddocks with dead biology won't attract rain like a living pasture will.
So that's right, ladies and gentlemen, they've been doing it. And now, you know, Bill Gates says they want to try it. It's already been going on. It's all a big fat lie. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call this a show. Much love to all the people out there that share this information out, get the word out. We got to keep fighting. The Google is on our butts right now. Anyway, guys, thanks for helping us out here. And we'll see you tomorrow night, God willing. Anyway, we got through the stream. Still growing. Hey, thanks there, Wake Up. And all that stuff. Anyway. So anyway, here, let's play a song called Rise. You're going to have to rise up soon. We're running out of time. We're never going to have blue skies again if we don't do something. Anyway, here we go. Maybe. The thing might not work. It might be in the wrong spot. I don't even know.